YouTube, what up? It's Shemaine back again with another video. Check this out. There are content creators that make things that actually make sense, and there are others that make things that make absolutely no sense. This is going to be one of those videos that to me made no sense. It's a viral video, as you've seen from the thumbnail. This girl's going to tell you why she turns down coffee dates and thinks that coffee dates are really not her thing. Check this video out.
A man asked me for coffee today after work, and I politely told him no, and then brought myself to McAllister's, where I got this croissant, this grilled chicken sandwich, and an entire bowl of broccoli cheddar soup and a Dr. Pepper for under $25. Now, I'm not going to argue with you about how you like to date, just like I don't want you to argue with me about how I like to date. But coffee is never going to be an option for me. And just like I respect your choice to coffee, respect mine to not coffee.
Girl,
Listen, anybody that knows coffee dates know that you don't have to go out for coffee on a coffee date. It was like back in the day when you went to the store to get Pampers. You didn't actually buy Pampers when you went to the store. Sometimes you bought Loves. Maybe you bought Huggies. So I'm trying to say is you could have went on the coffee date and got something else besides coffee. It was just, I guess, a way of him asking you to go on a date to the nearest coffee shop or whatever was available, what was ever local in your area. But my thing is, if you was feeling the guy, you wouldn't have turned down the coffee date. Because I don't know women that turn down things when it's coming from somebody that they're feeling, that they want to talk to. So I think it was more about the guy that asked her for the coffee date more than the coffee date itself. Because you could have clearly asked to do something else if you was feeling the guy that asked you out on the coffee date. I'm not going to sit here and say, listen, you turning down coffee dates like you got mad options. I'm not even going to say that. That man who talked to you and asked you for the coffee date, if you was feeling him, you would have went. And you would have suggested, listen, can we do something else besides coffee? Or does the place you want to go to have anything else besides coffee? Because you went to this place and got all this food and then going to say you got it for under $25, whatever the price tag was. Listen, mamacita, por favor, understand this. You would have done what that man would have wanted you to do if you were feeling him that way. Period. End of story. You would have done it. There's no way I'm going to sit here and let you think that you turn down a coffee date because you just don't drink coffee and just don't do coffee dates. I'm not trying to hear that. Not trying to hear that. You didn't like the dude. You wasn't feeling him. Because there's no way in the world that a woman's going to sit here and say, oh, I turned down a guy that I was feeling because he talked about going out for coffee, when you could have instantly suggested something else and he probably would have rocked with it because he was trying to take you somewhere just to get to know you. Let's be real. Come now. You're not trying to really fly that over my radar, under my radar. Nah, no way in heck. People do things who they want to do them for and who they want to do them with when they're feeling them. Rules go out the window. Hell, so do certain standards and preferences. Please stop. But we won't stop here because she has something else that she has to say.
I have two regrets about my coffee dates video. One is that I didn't make that video longer than a minute, because if I knew it was going to take off the way that it did, I certainly would have made it longer than a minute so I could get the coin. And number two, I would have tagged McAllister's. The amount of promo that McAllister's has gotten from that video alone, in fact, I might still reach out to them to ask them to sponsor the next date. And to the lady who said that she doesn't believe any man asks me on a date and she doesn't believe that I'm used to getting asked out on dates, to that I would say you are correct. But you are correct, because I ended a 5-year relationship this year. To my followers who did not know that, we can unpack that at a later time. Breakup is you step your foot back into the dating world. So I've only been back in the dating world for a couple months. And that wasn't maybe my third video about my dating experiences thus far. Maybe third. It doesn't matter. The point is that was not the first time, and it won't be the last time. I will say, once I clock in with somebody, once I lock in, he won't be getting posted just like that relationship did get posted. Why? Because if Jackie Osimo has taught me nothing else, if you don't want to talk about, don't put it on the internet.
And I bet you, once she locks in with somebody, that means she's gonna be feeling that dude probably from the gate. And I bet you she'll give him that coffee date if she's feeling him. Or if he doesn't seen this video, he's probably gonna take her to McAllister's. And then I was wondering too, don't most places sell coffee? So if he was gonna take her on a coffee date, maybe he was gonna take her to McAllister's himself. We don't know where he was gonna go. But I'm pretty sure a lot of these places sell coffee. Coffee is a hot item that people drink a lot of. But you know what? Let's play this next clip. Hear what else she has to say.
Biggie had two baddies fighting over him and eating his groceries. And for some reason, men seem to think that I can't find a man that's willing to take me for coffee.
You see how clever this part is? How it doesn't require a shred of proof?
And I notice anytime that I post anything about dating, especially on this app, the number one comment that I get is because I'm fat and ugly.
Good memory.
That I should be willing to settle for whatever a man is willing to offer me, right? Yeah! Right? And I always find that interesting because it almost feels like they have this assumption that any man who's trying to date me has never seen me before. And what I noticed from that comment section is a lot of people like coffee dates or ice cream dates or whatever the case may be because it's low effort, low commitment, low risk. And for the men, it's cost effective, right? And a lot of people were trying to compare it to a job interview, right? And I think the part that they are skipping with the job interview is after you submit your resume and the application, if you are deemed worthy, what happens? You get the phone interview. After the phone interview, if the employer deems you worthy enough, then they will invest the resources to fly you out for an in-person job interview.
What the shit?
And I feel like a lot of y'all are skipping that step. I feel like a lot of y'all will meet somebody on a dating app on a Wednesday, and by Thursday you are trying to go get coffee, which is why y'all want the low risk, low commitment, cost effective dates, because y'all are not taking the time to have the phone interview. I don't know about anybody else, but for me, my first time having a meaningful conversation with somebody is not going to be the first date.
A bullshit?
Let me touch on two things before I end this video. Number one, as I'm looking at her, listen, you could think you have all the options in the world. I'm pretty sure that there's another person that's going to take you out on a coffee date. I don't have no doubts about it. You could find somebody tomorrow. You could find somebody the next 2 months, 6 months. I'm not going to even play that game of saying that you can't find somebody else to take you out on a coffee date. You might be able to. You should be able to. That's not even a problem. The second thing I want to touch on is the low cost, low effort coffee date or anything along those lines. Listen, and that job interview part that you're talking about, listen, number one, when you meet somebody, people move in different ways. Some people want to get straight down to it and just knock it out, see if you vibe on anything, or some people just go through the long process of not skipping steps and going through the process. Meet you, get your number, talk on the phone for a minute, yada yada, set up a date or set up a meeting, meet up, low cost. You could pay for yours, or you could pay for the whole thing, or you could be bold and pay for the whole thing yourself on some low cost shit. Plain and simple. Not hard. No one takes a big L. Everybody's happy if they don't like each other, they can go their separate ways. If they like each other, they'll continue talking. Maybe they'll go from there to somewhere else later. Who knows? No one knows how anything is going to play out until they get into it. Now, what you choose to do with how you rock your coffee dates or how you rock your, how you rock your dates, that's one thing. You want to go through the long process, don't skip anything, that's cool. No one's going to knock you for it. Don't knock anybody else if they want to skip a step and get straight to talking and meeting and see what happens. That's how they work. But it is what it is. Your whole job is to get to know the person. So when some of these women get on these apps and they skipping steps themselves, talking about jumping from meeting somebody going to a $300 to $500 meal, is ludicrous. So I'll give her props on the the McAllisters, low effort, whatever the case may be. But listen, everything you do when you first meet somebody should be low. The only thing that should be high is you getting to know them. You shouldn't be spending major money. You shouldn't be, probably not driving major distance either. But that's on y'all. But, you should meet somebody within reasonable distance, reasonable means, and spend as little as possible, because you're supposed to be focused on the person and not the event or the food. That's what y'all women get mixed up. Y'all all want somebody to simp out on you the first day that y'all talking, or when y'all first go out on a date, or y'all first meet up, and spend dollars that's stupid. Stupid money. Are you kidding me? Why is anybody spending, over $20 when you just meeting somebody? You go somewhere, you sit down, you grab a drink, maybe a little snack, maybe a little light food or whatever, and y'all talk. Y'all supposed to do more talking. Y'all supposed to do more talking than you do eating. I don't care what you say. And the first time y'all meet, it probably shouldn't even be called a date, because y'all still on that relationship, not even relationship. Let's get that word out of there. Y'all still on freaking probation. Y'all just met each other. I don't know how long y'all do your probations, but that's a probationary period when you first meet somebody. But you're not spending crazy money until you're ready to lock in, until you see that person is the person you want to spend money on. And then when you get with the person, that's when you start spending the money that you should spend or want to spend. But see, y'all women, even though she's saying people like to skip steps, women like to skip those steps. They want all this expensive stuff, because you can tell when a person's feeling you, because if they were feeling you, they wouldn't care about the expensive stuff. They're trying to get to know you. They want to lock in on you. See, that's the thing. When a woman's going out with a guy, it doesn't matter. The guy's paying for it. They don't care. Let a woman pay for it. I bet you she'll be singing a different tune. I bet you she's going to want that low cost, low effort, because she ain't trying to spend no money. But see, that's another topic for another video with that part there. But like I said, what people do when they meet, that's on them. You want to skip steps? Go right ahead, skip certain steps. I personally, it depends on how you feel in that person. You might skip that steps, but run this course. You go low cost, low effort. You go somewhere where y'all can sit and talk and see if there's a vibe. After that, who knows where it's going to lead to? But hey, that's just me. Maybe that's just the old school part of me, but I think that's how it should go. But in any event, ladies, gentlemen, listen, do what your heart desires, okay? But be mindful of what you do, because what you do doesn't just affect you, it affects others after you. So just be mindful of that. Anyway, Street Mechanic, one love to y'all. Till the next one. You know how it goes. Comment section, hit it up. Let me know how you feel. Till then, later.